I figure I'll start this 30 minutes early because I am just getting started. If I to head out on the road, I'm gonna keep this about less than an hour or so. Keep this less than an hour. But first off, let me start this off by saying, um, Merry Christmas to you, your family, your loved ones, to all the haters out there, and a big Merry Christmas to the Washington Commanders for that win, I guess you want to call it. Congratulations. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say it whether you like it or not. The refs definitely gift y'all that Christmas gift, and that's beating us. I don't give a damn what the haters say. As a matter of fact, this is going to be one of those videos where I'm going to override what the OG has to say. I don't give a damn what Sleater has to say. I mean, shout out to Sleater, but I already know he's going to be all like, yeah, you can't be making. I mean, he's quick. He's quick to give advice, but he doesn't take advice from people. When they say narcissism, he's definitely up there. But shout out to him in the end. So I don't care what he has to say. I don't give a damn what anyone has to say. It is what it is. Because where was that energy when motherfuckers make excuses all the time when the Eagles beat them? All they do is point out injuries. All they do is point out the refs. They point out this, they point out that. But when the Eagles lose a huge game, a lot had to do because of the refs overriding the medical staff when they cleared Jalen Hurts to return, or they had nothing to say. And I want to say fuck Greg Olson, whoever that other guy was, who was replaced by Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady is that good on the commentating either, but he's a hell of a lot better. But the fact that they act like that was the Philadelphia Eagles at 100% is wild to me. I mean, what was Greg Olsen supposed to be? I mean, it's like I could take his opinion. It's like I want to say I take his opinion at some point serious because unlike majority, he played on the field. But nah, how he was acting was insane. I mean, how much did they pay you to Dick Rod Washington, so bad and ignore the fact that it was Kenny Pickett out there and not Jalen Hurts? Like the fact that you even act like um, Jaden Daniels. Let me tell you something. Before I get this started, right? Before I even go any further, Jaden Daniels is not a terrible quarterback. He's not a terrible quarterback. I give his props where it's due. I guess congratulations from that matter. He did what was supposed to be done, and that was take advantage of, the fact that they decided to leave Hurts out. You feel me? They decided to leave Hurts out. They ruled C.J. Gardner-Johnson out. That was complete bullshit. I mean, well, because C.J. was talking smack. I mean, what player doesn't talk smack, in the NFL? You can't even go a play or two without talking smack. You can't go a play or two in a drive without talking smack. But then the guy was so fucking sensitive that he swung at C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The ref saw that. He got in C.J. Gardner-Johnson's face and threw the flag out. So it's okay for the man to swing at CJ to the point his helmet went flying, but it's not okay to say, like, come on now. But it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Because for one, that's the exact same ref that was officiating the Seahawks versus the Eagles in 2020 when Carson Wentz took that dirty hit by Jadeveon Clowney and Josh McCown had to take over. That's the exact same ref. And he sat there with a straight face and said that play was clean. He sat there with a straight face and say that play was clean. He's the exact same guy. The refs, I said it even when the Eagles were winning. The refs were fucking atrocious. And that's a big reason why I just don't want to I don't accept this L. You ruled C.J. Gardner-Johnson out. I feel like it had a lot to do with him. I don't know if C.J. Gardner-Johnson was smashing his wife or something, and he decided to be real slick with it in the game and be, rule him out or whatever. The man knocked his helmet off. That penalty should at least been offset. That penalty should have at least been offset. That was bullshit. That was bullshit. That penalty should have at least been offset. And try to say CJ was taunting. Taunting? How many times have players taunted in the NFL? Like, what are you saying? Are we talking about mocking the fans, or what are we talking about here? For taunting? When Reed Blankenship got that interception, and the first thing they did was run to CJ Gardner-Johnson and say, yeah, you ejected. Unsportsmanlike conduct. These refs ain't shit, bro. Just say you hated CJ because the man smashed your wife or smashed your girl, smashed your sister, whatever, man, because that was bullshit right there. Overriding the doctor's okay, giving them the clear, overriding the clear call to, for Hurts to go back on the field. Like, come on now. They were just they try to cover the spread. Like, when they say the fix was in, it really looked like the fix was in. Yeah, Jaden Daniels deserved the credit because he took advantage. That's all it was. Yeah, you can say he outperformed the number one defense. That was only because Kenny Pickett couldn't do shit. To have 5 turnovers, what was it? Since Jalen Hurts got out, it was about what? How many turnovers? 4 to 5 turnovers, and Kenny Pickett not even being able to capitalize off of that. Like, come on now. Hurts would have scored at least 3 times. Yeah, congratulations to Jaden Daniels for taking advantage that our defense eventually faded out because the offense couldn't do shit about it. I'm not giving Jaden Daniels his respect. I mean, congrats for taking advantage. That's about it. You and I both know if Hurts was still there, if Hurts came back, the Eagles would have had at least 50 already on them. There was a big difference. A big, big difference. A big difference. It was a big difference. Yeah. Kenny Pickett, he scored that when he jumped in and got that touchdown to A.J. Brown. Yeah, sure, he did that. And what happened the following drive? What is that saying I've always said about Kenny Pickett? You can't spell Pickett without a pick. You can't spell Pickett without pick. Like, come on now. So I don't give a damn what anybody got to say. The only thing this proved is that Jalen Hurts is way more valuable than any of those Hurts haters got to say. The haters, period. Hurts is way more valuable than what anyone had to say. Talking about any quarterback can play. Well, how'd that turn out for you? Gardner Minshew couldn't do it, and now this proves Kenny Pickett couldn't do it. So it's time to appreciate Hurts a little more, if not a lot, or just go root for another team. I'm not asking you to be a fan. I'm not asking any of that. Just let it be known that Hurts can handle the weapons on the team. Pickett couldn't. They were talking about moving on from Hurts. It's time to draft a new QB. It's time to bench him. Well, we all seen it. All this did was make me even more confident. So you know what? To Washington, enjoy your win. Enjoy your win. I guess if you want me to give props to Jaden Daniels, congratulations for outperforming Kenny Pickett, or congratulations for taking advantage of the defense eventually fading off, especially in the fourth quarter, because the offense could only put up 6 points after the turnovers. That's the best you're going to get from me. But I'll tell you what, though. They beat Philly with Jalen Hurts starting in the playoffs. I'll give Washington credit. Just as I gave the Falcons credit when Kirk Cousins, primetime Kirk, without any timeouts, came to our turf and cooked our secondary. Even though defense, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Primetime Kirk put daggers through a lot of our hearts. I didn't make any excuses then. When Baker Mayfield cooked our offense, I didn't make any excuses then. When, let's talk about 2 years ago, when Hurts got hurt and Gardner Minshew put up 300-plus yards against the Cowboys. I didn't make any excuses then. Hurts would have, but you know what? Yeah, I believe Hurts would have beaten him, but you know what? Nah, because I was still confident. Then that Gardner Minshew might be good enough. But you know what? I took my L. I said, congratulations to Dallas. I took my L when we lost to the Saints in that trap game. I didn't make any excuses then. I didn't really take my L like that when we lost to, quote-unquote, the Kansas City Chiefs. But in the end, I accepted when they beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. I took it then. People seem to ignore a lot of times I called out my own team in times that we struggled, in times that we lost, in times that I gave a lot of credit where it's deserved. I said we would have lost to Green Bay had Saquon not been in that game. The game would have been a lot tougher had Saquon not cooked the Saints. A lot of games did go in our favor because of Saquon. A lot of games did. But all you can do is blame the Giants for letting him walk. It is what it is. It is what it is. There are times I gave criticism where it was deserved. There are times I gave props to the opposing teams where it was deserved. And I told y'all from then on, ever since the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, that was the last time I dead-ass lied. I tried to cope or whatever. Oh, Carson Wentz is the answer no matter what. No matter when he went down and Carson Wentz was struggling all like that. I told y'all the last time I would ever lie to y'all was the time, when Jalen Hurts got drafted. And people tried to tell me that Hurts is going to replace Carson Wentz. And I straight up shut that shit down. But I told y'all I'm never going to lie again. I'm going to tell y'all exactly how I feel. When an apology or props is deserved, I will put it out there. So, to people that disagree with me, that don't like what I have to say, it is what it is. Go watch somewhere else. Go watch somewhere else. So, what's done yesterday is really done. The only thing I'm mad about, refs, of course they're going to ignore, and that's another thing. We had two major pass interference calls. Marshawn Lattimore, Mr. I don't even know how to call it because he was holding all over A.J. Brown. I knew it wasn't going to make a difference. Marshawn Lattimore is cooked. He's a bum. The man held on to A.J. Brown more than he could hold on to his own girl. I don't mean to get a bit personal right there, but it is what it is. You would think James Bradbury was sticking A.J. Brown. That's how bad it looked out there. But that one time, another time A.J. Brown could have, missed that touchdown, Lattimore was holding him like crazy. He missed that. That false start at the very end when Washington scored, that false start was way more obvious than Lane Johnson. But you know what? I try my best not to say nothing that man because I try to keep that same energy. Lane Johnson at times, when people calling out Lane Johnson jumping a little too early, there are times even I agree. So I'm trying my best not to call it out that guy jumped a little too early. Because like I say, Lane Johnson started early at times as well. So I'm trying to be fair and keep that same energy. I'm trying my best. Plenty of holding calls missed, but are you really surprised? It gets pretty suspect when we go. It's not even so much of going against Dallas anymore. It's when we go against Washington. It's not even so much of going against Dallas anymore. It seems to be whenever we go against Washington, it gets painfully obvious. Don't even get me started about the injuries at FedEx Field. I told you guys from the gate. I told you guys. I get very concerned when we play at MetLife Stadium or when we play at FedEx Field. And I also mentioned that field at Brazil. I wasn't as concerned until I seen Saquon Barkley slip the way he did. But you know what? Hey, happy holidays, Pat. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, your family, your loved ones, everyone. Happy holidays to y'all. In case you didn't tune in early on. But yeah, you know what? I think we lost in 2022 against Washington. Did we lose in 2022 against them? I don't know. But you know what? You know what happened in 2022? Despite us losing to them, we went all the way. So who knows? The same thing's going to repeat. The same thing's going to repeat. But yeah, to hell with Greg Olsen. That guy's he's a dick rider, bro. He's a clown. Him and the guy next to him. I mean, speak for yourself. I don't think we lost fair and square. Respectfully, Big D, but speak for yourself. Because you and I both know, if Hurts was there, the Eagles would have dropped way more than 50. The game wouldn't even been as close. Hurts would have scored at least 3 touchdowns from those turnovers. So, I mean, you want to give Jaden Daniels his props? Fine, that's on you. Respect to you, more power to you. But I'm not with that. I'm not with that. So, like, come on. I'm not with that. Washington acting like they beat the Eagles with Jalen Hurts. I mean, sure, they've done so in the past before, but this year, nah, they didn't. They beat Kenny Pickett. It's like you beat Kenny Pickett in the end. And I said the same thing. The Eagles beat Cooper Rush. I pointed out there that Dak Prescott would have put out a much tougher battle. It's just why I didn't celebrate. I didn't celebrate the fact that we blew out Cooper Rush. I didn't celebrate us beating Cooper Rush. Yeah, I made that photo. Y'all still them boys. Yeah, I made that video. Yeah, I did that. I mean, especially because a lot of people requested it. But I made it very clear that we beat Cooper Rush. So, hey. And I am also going to point out that Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts needs to slide more. He needs to slide. Why does he dive for it? His bad habits caught up to him. But in the end, he had the okay to come back. And the refs want to overturn that. I mean, it didn't stop them with Tua coming back. So what stopped them? What stopped Jalen Hurts from coming back? Hold on, y'all. Hello. Now somebody decide to call me. Like, come on now. People decide to call me, interfere with me and shit. People seem to call me the most at times when I stream. And I don't stream very often. Now, what was I saying before I was rude and interrupted? What up, Ready Red? I'm going to say this once again, y'all. Congratulations. Not congratulations, my bad. Merry Christmas to you, your family, your loved ones, even all the haters. And I guess Merry Christmas to Washington. That's your Christmas gift right there. So, Merry Christmas. Congrats for beating Kenny Pickett. It is what it is. Anyway, this ain't even no therapy. This ain't even a therapy. The only thing I'm mad about this game is that the refs fucked us over. I'm mad about those Jalen Hurts that, that talked all that. I mean, the Jalen Hurts detractors, the haters or whatever, that talked all that smack, saying that Hurts wasn't the answer. And now look how that turned out. Look how stupid they all look now. And I guess congratulations to Jaden Daniels for taking advantage of the fact that our defense eventually faded away, especially in the fourth quarter. You feel me? I mean, they can sit here and talk about how they beat the number one defense, but of course, any defense, it doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst or whatever. Of course, the defense is going to fade off when they're not, when the offense is not able to take advantage of the turnovers. You feel me? Not able to score and all like that. It is what it is. It is what it is. If Hurts didn't dive face forward, it wouldn't have came to this in the end. I'll admit it. He's got to get over that habit. But you know what? Hurts was cleared to return in the end. And my apologies for not being able to read the comments, but I'm currently driving. So, and you know what? A Dallas Cowboy fan that despises the Philadelphia Eagles, even said it so himself. That's why I respect guys like him. Because he's going to call it like it is. He hates the Eagles. He always going to laugh at the Eagles' L. Even he says that. I'm not expecting him to go so far as to say, the fix was in or anything. You feel me? I don't expect, and you know what? And I say this, right? In the words of Simus, I always lower my expectations for anyone to feel bad for the Eagles, especially division rivals. I would never expect that. You know what I always expect? Is for them to celebrate our downfall, for them to come up here and say, y'all still flying. I expect them to say that. You know why? Because they're the Dallas Cowboys fans, or Washington, or the Giants. They're division rivals. I wouldn't even get mad at them saying that. You know why? Because I would have done the same to them. It's what they're supposed to do. In Washington, I expect them to come out of the woodworks all of a sudden and troll and celebrate their quote-unquote their Super Bowl win. I expect them to come out and say that. You know why? Because that's going to be the best thing they accomplish. We already know they're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs, especially when they got to go past us. If they do pull a shocker and beat us with Jalen Hurts, what if it's at Washington or it's at the Eagles? I'll give them their much-deserved props. So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. And our defense did get 5 turnovers. I think 2 of them was when Hurts played. And guess what happened? The Eagles scored back-to-back. So, it is what it is. And I only say Washington earned it is because they took advantage. I'm not giving them their legit props. I'm not. So, I mean, I'm not doing that. So, if that's what whoever's expecting that in the comments, you're in the wrong stream for that. There's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to pander. I'm not going to do any of that. So, if whoever don't like it, I strongly encourage you to unsubscribe. You know why? Because I'd rather have real subs. I'd rather have it could be 500 to 1,000. I don't care if I lose. You can cancel me. I don't give a damn. I'd rather my followers be real. You can talk your shit. I don't care. But as long as you keep it football, as long as you, I don't know how to respect opinions or whatever. Those fake followers, they want to unsub and shit. I promise you, I will never fucking shed a tear for y'all. You know what I'm going to do when I get off this stream? I'm going to be finishing up this shift. I'm going to get this money. I'm going to be enjoying Christmas with my family, and I expect the same for y'all. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm going to say it once again to make sure I'm going to say this on the record. I'm going to say this on the record. I always give respect where it's due. I took my L when we lost to Dallas with Gardner Minshew. I took this L when we fell that trap to the Saints. I eventually took the L when we lost to in the Super Bowl. I even took the fucking L when we collapsed. Not only did I take my L, Reddy Red was there, Pat was there, DFW was there. A lot of them was there when we collapsed. The six L's. When we lost to San Fran, when we lost to the Arizona Cardinals, I think we lost to Dallas during that collapse. I think so. When we lost to the Giants, when we lost to the Bucks, who else did we lose to? I can't remember. It doesn't even matter. I wasn't able to stream then, and many people called me out for it, but you know what I did? I showed up when we lost in the playoffs. Because during that collapse, I was doing a major project in my house. I was rebuilding the garage. I was building the shelves. That's what I was doing. But you know what? Y'all can't tell me shit. You know why? Because even when the Eagles was dominant, I still wasn't able to stream. So, y'all can kiss my ass with me ducking when we lost. Guess what? I wasn't around when the Eagles was winning either this season or like that, as much as I would love to. This guy doesn't run from no fucking fade. Unless y'all want to cash at me, $8 Taylor X90, I'm not going to override shit. If I got shit I got to do, that's what I'm going to have to focus on. It is what it is. It is what it is. I criticize my team. I criticize Nick Sirianni. I criticize all those fucking divas that didn't want to, take the matter serious when we collapsed. I did all that shit. I did it all. I always kept it 100. But of course, everyone's going to ignore that and just say, oh, I'm just making excuses when we lost. Man, look, I'm not letting that affect me. You know why? The loss or whatever? Because what's going to happen in the playoffs is what really counts the most. And I'm getting hungry as hell. I'm getting thirsty and shit because I'm out here just, man, look, it is what it is in the end. My apologies if I'm not being professional. If y'all expecting a crow out of me, I'm sorry, but this ain't the day for that. The team chose to be cocky and arrogant like they always have been. I wouldn't say so much as the Eagles got cocky or whatever. I mean, I don't think Washington is trash or anything. I don't think they ever took them for granted. But we were still better than them all around. I mean, and this loss ain't going to change that. This loss to them ain't going to change that. Like, come on. There was an obvious difference between Hurts being there and Kenny Pickett being there. So I'm still confident moving forward. I will say this, though. Our chances of getting the number 1 seed is pretty much gone. I don't think it's going to matter. Whether the Lions lose to the Vikings, honestly, we blew our shot. We lost our chances though. We really did. So you know what? As much as I really, really, really wanted this number one seed, I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you. I wanted the number one seed. I felt like we deserved it more. I mean, but at the same time, the Lions do have well over 10 players on IR, and it would have been very. The only team I'd be concerned. The Lions would have been very concerning to me if they are 100% by the time we face them. Very concerning. Now, them getting that number one seed is going to be a huge issue. It's going to be a huge issue because this is a benefit. A lot of players are going to come back. We're most likely going to have to play them in Detroit. And you know what? I'm for it. The underdog story starts now. The underdog story starts now. If the number one seed, if the Super Bowl had to come through Philly, that wouldn't be an underdog story for us. It was more legit in 2018 because Wentz was out and everyone did count us out. But now Detroit, it's going to be a tough one. Although I feel like we can beat them, but if they were 100%, that would be very concerning. It will be. But I really wanted this number one seed because I wanted, as far as us winning 10 straight, us not losing the game since coming off the bye week, I felt like all of our players deserved it. But you know what? Why the fuck everyone has to call us now? All right, can y'all hear me? But yeah, man, moving on to next week, man. Like I was saying before, I was really interrupted. Once again, I'm starving like crazy though, man. I'm starving. Hold on, let me eat a few cookies. Hungry as hell. I ain't even get a chance to get me eat or none of that. Hold on a second. 1 minute break, y'all. My bad. One more cookie, y'all. I'm hungry as hell. Ugh. That's better. Hold on, let me get one more. This is good though. Shout out to my lovely wife. Shout out to my lovely wife. Felt like I was running low on felt like I was low on the tank for a second. Forgive me if you can hear the thumping. It's like ASMR. Man. All right. All right. Then. All right, that's better. Much better. All right. Now what was I saying? If I recall, I was talking about trying to remember. But yeah, this loss sucks, but it's already exposed a few things, and you know what? I'm not even concerned about it moving forward. This only shows that Hurts is way more viable, no matter what the haters say. And you know what? I know Smitty dropped that pass. Just like damn, can you believe it? Now we're two crucial drops away from being 14-1. How about that? How about that? But you know what? All this did was prove that how legit this team is. Saquon dropped one against the Falcons, and now Smitty dropped one. But you know what, in the end? Sometimes a loss can help you figure out the mistakes, the issues, all like that moving forward. And perhaps it was better to lose now than to lose in the playoffs, because now at least you can bounce back. At least we'll have a much better game plan. But in the playoffs, you lose, that's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean, Washington, I'm going to go so far as to say congratulations on beating Kenny Pickett. So it doesn't matter how good your defense is. I know Big D is going to – hold on. It doesn't matter how elite your defense is. When your offense can't capitalize after defense was balling out majority of the game, they're bound to fade off. They bound to fall off or whatever. And Washington took advantage of it. That's what's supposed to be done. But if the haters going to call out the fact that the Eagles beat injury teams or whatever, they're going to make all the excuses in the world, then we best keep that same energy and point out the fact that Washington only won because Jalen Hurts got hurt. All I'm doing is I'm feeding off of the same energy y'all give us. So it is what it is. You can say 33 points, but guess what? Guess what? With Hurts in, we would have had 50 plus. And you know what? The offense would have been on the field a lot longer, and the defense would have played a lot better. You can say 33 points. But let's talk about the fact that the Eagles only scored 13 points since Hurts got hurt. And you know how much points Hurts would have put on? 20 plus, 20 to 30 plus. It is what it is. And Greg Olsen, he can kick rocks. That dude is the most idiotic. Like, I don't even know, like, even that's an understatement. Even that's an understatement. It is what it is, bro. Jaden Daniels was good enough. Is he better? No, no. But we'll see them in the playoffs, and you know what? It's going to prove right. It's going to prove right then and there that this win by them is a fluke. This win by them is a fluke. So agree to disagree. It is what it is. Refs helped them. CJ being them taking CJ out for emotional reason. I don't know. I said it beginning. I said it beginning. I'll say it again. CJ must have smashed that dude's girl, bro. He must have smashed his wife. That's why he got ejected the way he did. It's okay when other players talk smack, but when CJ do it, he gets ejected. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that. At least we know we're not playing back at that garbage stadium. So, hey, it's okay. We both lost to Washington yesterday. Oh, you must be talking about a basketball team or a baseball team or whatever. You got it, though. I saw your comment in the very beginning. Oh, I see what you meant. Okay. Them winning eliminated y'all. But let's keep it a buck here. Y'all was out regardless. Let's keep it a buck here. Dallas was eliminated regardless. It would have been a tough one to rely on. But the hell was I'm saying? Because I'm getting a bit lightheaded here, so I guess I better end this stream. So Washington has to win out in order to be in the wild card. But watch they fall. Who they got next week? They got Atlanta. They're going to beat Atlanta, but watch them get it. Watch they start feeling themselves a little too much for beating us. Just watch. Just watch. Huh, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, Saquon's record beating Eric Dickerson. As much as I would love to see that, I would love to see that. Saquon Barkley beating Eric Dickerson record. And it's going to be funny that, you know, it's been 40 years since any running back has been able to do that. But watch. But watch this. Well, never mind. I said that. I don't know why I said watch this. But anyway, if he beats Eric Dickerson's record, of course I'm going to be happy for Saquon. Would love to see that, especially for one from the Eagles doing that. But in the end, if it meant us claiming the number one seed, shit, that I would love that. You feel me? I would love that. But right now, Saquon beating Eric Dickerson's record is not going to put a trophy on our case. It's not. OJ is the real record. I understand it because he was the first running back to cross 2,000 yards. That's understandable. That's highly understandable. That's highly understandable. But yeah, Saquon beating the record is not going to put a trophy on our case. It's not going to do that. So if we're going to make NFL history, we're going to have to use that and go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. Because if not, it's easily going to be forgotten. It would all be for a waste. So Saquon's going to have to be 100% healthy. That's a fact. He's going to have to be 100% healthy. And we're going to have to win it. Because if not, this is going to be long forgotten. The MVP is going to be long forgotten. Quinyon Mitchell possibly being Rookie of the Year is going to be long forgotten. You name it. Just as the defensive lineman being dominant in 2022, that was long forgotten. Eric Dickerson's record himself was long forgotten. So if we're going to do this, we're going to have to make it count. We're going to have to make it count. We're going to have to make it count. I'm just giving it to the mindset of a dynasty franchise. I'm following the advice of what Cowboy fans have always told me. I'm following the advice of what Cowboy fans have told me, as the Giants fans have always told me, the Niner fans have always told me, the Steelers fans have always told me, even the Patriots fans. That convinced me. All this record and shit is nothing more than a season accomplishment if you don't win the Super Bowl. So why you think that I treat Falcons fans or Vikings fans or Lions fans the same as I as once a ringless peasant was always treated then. You did not catch me bragging about 4 NFC championships. No, my bad. What? I can't even fucking remember. It was you didn't. I mean, God damn it, I got it all mixed up. You did not catch me bragging about 3 NFL championships: 1947, 1948, and 1960. 1960. You have not seen me brag about that since. You ain't catch me bragging about 4 NFC championship visits or whatever. You have not caught me bragging about that. You ain't catch me bragging about player of the week, coaching of the year, MVP, none of that crap since the Eagles won the Super Bowl. All that is nothing more than a fucking season accomplishment. It is what it is. I ain't bragging about, I have been bragging about sweeping the Giants. I ain't bragging about sweeping Washington. I ain't bragging about none of that shit. Some of y'all gonna say that you acting like your team won multiple rings. No, I'm taking y'all advice. I'm taking y'all advice. That's what I'm doing. Is taking y'all advice. You know why? Because I'm not settling for one fucking ring. I want multiple. That's what I want. I didn't like when Sean Parks and Mac Main 70 and Simus, Master at Work in them, was talking about you will never be part of this table or whatever. You know what? I may not like. You know what I called that table? A table full of fucking sorority divas. That's what I called it. I'd rather be on a kiddie table than to be on a table full of sorority divas. I said that shit then, but you know what? In the end, they were right. They were right in the end. I may have talked my shit then, but in the end, I want to be part of that table. And how can we do that? Is by winning rings pretty much. Don't celebrate season accomplishments. Let's go for what really matters the most, what people will never forget, and that's win the Super Bowl. That's what my mind has been set on. That's why I always keep it 100. How we need to be careful when doing this and doing that. Pointing out how we could have lost to the Panthers had that dude not dropped that catch. I didn't brag about beating Cooper Rush. I ain't do none of that shit. I always keep it 100. That's why I may not be so popular, because I'm just not going to do that. I try to make, there are times I may sell. Yeah, I get all hyped from beating, that's from beating real teams like the Steelers, the Ravens. Yeah, I get hyped off of that, but I ain't going to celebrate for beating bum teams. I might go so far as to celebrate beating Washington because they talk the most crap in this division. The Cowboys, they're a little too humble for me. They're not even fun to troll anymore, honestly. They're not even fun to troll. They too humble for me. I'm used to them being delusional. But it is what it is in the end. It is what it is. But we'll see Washington in the playoffs. We're going to get our revenge. And you know what? I said I was talking my shit, then I'm still talking my shit. Congratulations on your fluke win. Congratulations on your Super Bowl, Merry Christmas gift, what the fuck ever. That's me as a fucking hater talking. It is what it is. We'll see them in the playoffs and prove to them why this was nothing more than a fluke. I'm going to conclude this stream because I need to go. I need to eat something. You feel me? I can't live off of cookies, so I need to go eat something. So all that said, I want y'all to enjoy your Christmas and enjoy the rest of y'all day. I forgot to say this in the beginning of the stream, but Mondays can suck a fat one because this one really sucked. When your favorite team loses, Mondays can suck a fat one. But Merry Christmas to y'all. Merry Christmas to your family, your loved ones. Merry Christmas to all the haters out there. Except that one fucking weirdo that got a little too comfortable saying the shit that he said about my son. He can eat a bag of, he can eat a bag of sacks. You feel me? But other than that, everyone else, hope you guys enjoy your holiday, enjoy your Christmas, enjoy it all. Big D, I said agree to disagree, but I'm not taking this L. All respect to you, my guy, but agree to disagree. I know real teams can is supposed to take their L and move on, but it depends how the L goes. It depends. If knock on wood, if Hurts was out for the remainder of the season, we have to rely on Kenny Pickett or whatever, then yeah, I have no choice but to. And I guess I'll give a little more props. I did it with Gardner Minshew. But this one, it is what it is. Yes, Big D, yes. And my stream last night, they said someone you need to shut that kid up. Give him discipline. These damn kids. Who the fuck he think he is coming on my channel thinking he can say that? Blocked his dumb ass. Who the hell he think he is? I may talk my shit, but one thing I don't do when I talk my shit is get very personal. He, on the other hand, I don't know who the hell he thought he was, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So it is what it is. You're right. I do have no choice but to take that L. That's what I'm going to do in the end. I'm going to talk my shit. I'm going to keep it 100 and I'm going to call it like it is. You beat Kenny Pickett, but I got no choice but to take the L in the end. You know why? You know why, Big D? Because no matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter how trashy these refs are, it ain't going to change the outcome in the end. So just because I have to take my L, it doesn't mean Washington is better. Whatever. I don't know how to put it, but it is what it is. All I'm going to say is we'll see them in the playoffs. So, anyway, it won't happen again when we see them. And time will tell. But all I'm going to say is we'll see that in the playoffs, though. This is not the right spot. It's the next one. Not Amazon. Yeah, that's what I'm saying in the end. We're going to see them. We're going to see them in the playoffs. We're going to see them in the playoffs. All respect. We're going to see them in the playoffs. We're going to see them in the playoffs, and we're going to show them that it won't be the same thing twice. This was nothing more than a Christmas gift to them, and we'll see them in the playoffs. But yeah, all respect to you, all power to you and everything, for taking your L and everything. All respect and power to you, but you feel me? You're better than me. That's what I'm going to say about that. You're much better than me. To everyone else that feel that same way, more power to you, all respect to you. But me, I'll see them the third time. Couldn't even believe this Washington fan at my job was like, yeah. How about them Birds now? Congrats. You beat Kenny Pickett. Anyway, man. Yeah, let's see if you can do it again. However you want to put it. Facts. But I'm in the stream, y'all. I'm at my stop, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If not, it is what it is. Until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Enjoy your holiday, and I'm gone.